The Rugrats were a fragment of Angelica's demonic and unimaginable imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. Tommy was born in 1988, but he was stillborn. That's why Stu constantly is in the basement making toys for the son who never had the chance to live. The Dovells had an abortion in 1990. Angelica couldn't figure out it would be a boy or a girl, thus creating the twins. As for all grown up, the teenagers Angelica became addicted to medias narcosis, which further aggravated her schizophrenism, bringing her back to her childhood, and thus her creations said she was obsessed over. Because over time lapsed between the present and the last time interacted with the creations, she made them older. Angelica was constantly taking hints of drugs that she would never be able to live without her creations, who were her one and only company in a judgmental world. Angelica's mom actually died from an overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born, and Drew, in his depression, married a gold-digging woman that Angelica idolized because she was fooled of herself for thinking it was her real mom. But she always had the concept of her mom, Cynthia, and she always took a Barbie doll and made it look like after her mom's image, wearing an unwashed orange dress and having a jacket up hair, which is why she was so attached to it. Later on in life, she followed up her mom's footsteps with drugs and everything, dying of overdose at the age of 13, when All Grown Up was unfortunately canceled. The only Rugrat that is not fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother Dill. However, Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations. Although Dill did not allow her commands, after endless crying and a refusal to disappear like the others did when Angelica was angry at them, she hits him. Due to this, he sustained a brain hemorrhage, which caused up a deformation. As he grew up, his damage only became more evaded as time went on. He was 9 and all grown up, and he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his worriedness and retardation. The immense guilt over of what happened led Angelica to her drug use, and what led Angelica to uncreate the Rugrats briefly, until her experience was hallucinations. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chas married a woman named Kira. He was actually going to marry a different woman named Coco, but he just wanted him for the money, who had a daughter named Kimmy, who was torn from her because she was a drug addict. Angela imagined her from Kira's stories, lost in mind after the death of his wife, and was in denial as if she was ever, a tramp. Upon returning to America, Chaz and Kira married, and when she got her green card, she was actually really happy and a romantic story. Kira continually struggled with her addiction, but was relatively happy with her life in Chaz. Susie was actually Angelica's only friend, who entertained the thought of Angelica's creations. Just for her sake, Angelica spent the last days of her life back at the school cafeteria, imagining her friends around her, paying the lives of her creations. And that, my little pretties, was the Rugrats Fury. A Rugrats Fury pasta. My final thoughts on the story? A pretty good Fury pasta, actually. This is actually like a very, this is actually one of the really great Furies I've seen. Now, to be completely honest, I remember, a lot of narrators actually narrated this story. I've seen a whole bunch of people who actually sat there and narrated this story. So I think I did touch this back in 2019. I don't remember if I did or not. I must have, but I probably just don't remember, as it has been like a very long time since I last sat there and, take a look at this story. Now, I did not do the tweaked version because the reason why I did not do the tweaked version is, because for some reason, it's kind of like the same, but it was just, I think just to me, some of it didn't really make sense, so that's why I read the original version. So if you guys want to somehow read this story, if you want to, I guess you could read this story if you want to, sit there and narrate the story. This is on their regular Creepypasta Wiki, for those who are wondering. So, yeah, if you guys want to take a look at this story, that is totally understandable, and I'm okay if you guys want to narrate this story. This is on the regular Creepypasta Wiki. That's where I found this story. So the Rugrats Theory Pasta, well, I could definitely say it is very believable to, what happened to the kids. Like, for example, Angelica's, addicted to drugs, which is very messed up in my opinion. We also see, the twins were unfortunately never born, as the parents decided to get rid of the twins when the pregnancy was going on. Chucky died with his mother in the certain timeline, which is Chaz is a nervous wreck. This is all very believable and very well understanding. Like, this is a very understandable, Fury. This is really well made in detail. It's believable. I can definitely say that this one was actually really believable to an extent. It's actually a pretty interesting Fury. Now, I do know it was a really messed up Fury too, because of, what's going on basically. So I could definitely say the story itself is just wow. I definitely have to say, I have seen some other people have sat there and narrated the story, so some other people have narrated the story, in case if you guys were wondering. I know for a fact that I've seen plenty of narrations of this story. I obviously found this story to be, oh my goodness, it's just really amazing and well made. It's a pretty good Fury pasta. It's a pretty good pasta for what it is. It's actually well made in detail. It actually plays out well. Now about, Angelica's, father, Drew Pickles, ends up, losing his wife due to drug overdose, marries another woman, but she just wants to marry him for money. This is actually a pretty messed up Fury in my opinion. Like, I know I've seen some other messed up stuff, but this one kind of takes the cake, on my opinion. Like, I could definitely say that this was actually really well made. Like, the author put his or her time and effort into the story and made it really good. Like, putting his or her effort into the story. This is actually really well made in detail. Now, I don't know who the original author is, as I can't seem to find the original author, so I'm going to leave this anonymous for now. If I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit. Like, if he or she comments on this video, I'll be sure to sit there and give him or her proper credit, because it's a really well made story. It's pretty good, really well made. It's just wow. Just wow. Pretty awesome, well made story. So anyway, I guess I kind of, explain, what's going on in that. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here and say, well, yeah, like, I'm going to sit here and say this right now. And like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that is fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts or theory pastas. Oh yeah, if I had to say one thing before I wrap up the review of what I didn't like, I can't really seem to find anything, about it. Now, I know there's a tweaked version of this, like I said before, but the reason why I didn't narrate it was because I didn't really feel it was necessary. Like, for some reason, I just feel that it wasn't really necessary. So it's kind of why I actually didn't really care for, didn't really care for, the tweaked version of it. So if you want to read the tweaked version when you read this, that's fine. But it's just, to me, I'm just not that crazy on the tweaked version. So that's why I narrated just the original version and nothing more. So anyways, with that being the case, yeah, like I'm going to say, this is simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that is totally okay too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas or fury pastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 10 out of 10. It's very good, really well made. It's messed up, I'm not gonna lie. It is messed up. Pretty good story. It has a really good fury to it, and it's very believable. But I really didn't read the tweak version because it's basically the same thing. So that's kind of why I did not sit there and, actually narrate the tweaked version to just the original. But like if you want to read, well, the tweaked version, I guess that's fine, but to me, I just feel that, the original version was just all it needed. But other than that, it's a pretty well-made story. So I definitely have to say, with that being the case, with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.